Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words proudly saying, "We the people."
Leaked documents show that government organizations may have been working with social media to silence parts of the American public. And TD's Daniel Hall spoke with a constitutional lawyer who says this is a clear violation of the First Amendment.
In a span of 7 days, 3 California courts ruled in favor of both the people of California and the United States Constitution in 3 groundbreaking cases. The courts ruled that the state government may have overreached its power following Governor Gavin Newsom's COVID shutdown orders and mandates.
I would say that these most recent rulings, the 3 that did rule in favor of private businesses, absolutely are respecting the rule of law and the Constitution of the United States.
Alexander Haberbush, a constitutional attorney, says each suit needs to be assessed on a case-by-case basis.
I would say that in general, the real problem with the proliferation of these mandates has been that they are really just that. You know, what's a mandate? When you refer to a mandate, generally what that refers to is an order from somebody who's higher in the government to somebody beneath them in government. What we saw here was a proliferation of mandates that applied not against just government personnel, but against we the people.
Each of the 3 cases had its own significance. The first ruling highlighted the freedom of religion in the San Jose Calvary Chapel.
What's so unique about this is California courts have generally been leaning in favor of the government. But to have 3 cases within 7 days of each other, all going against the governor, that is a really good sign that the courts are starting to really focus in on the constitutional rights of the individuals and start finding where those limits are of where, just how far a government can go under emergency powers.
Mark Moiser, a candidate for California's U.S. Senate seat and also a constitutional attorney, explains the church refused to shut down after Governor Newsom's order. A local judge then sanctioned the church and ordered a $190,000 fine. Moiser said about 5 California cases went up to the United States Supreme Court. Justices ruled that the order was unconstitutional and that the pastors cannot be sanctioned. The other 2 cases involved local businesses directly impacted by shutdown orders. The state tried to get the cases dismissed, but the judges allowed them to proceed.
One is out of Orange County, the Luxury Nail Salon. They filed what's called a Government Tort Claims Act, basically saying the statute says if the government commandeers my property because of the governor's emergency orders, you have to pay me back.
Moiser said that the nail salon argues that they are entitled to compensation, alleging Newsom chose which businesses were allowed to stay open. One example he cited was a restaurant that was not allowed to operate with outdoor dining. But just 10 feet away, Hollywood actors were able to dine outdoors using a caterer.
I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio, which is right over here.
If the governor decides to make decisions of you're open and you're not open, those businesses that are shut down may have a claim against the government saying...
Tin Horn Flats, a restaurant in Burbank, publicly questioned the constitutionality of the governor's COVID shutdowns. The city then sued the restaurant.
And in Tin Horn Flats, they were very vocal in saying, hey, these shutdown orders are not right. We shouldn't have to be doing it. And the city of Burbank and the state of California came after Tin Horn Flats, and they shut off their power, and they built a fence around the property.
In response, the eatery countersued both the city and the governor, claiming violations against their First Amendment rights. Additionally, during the state's eviction moratorium, the government allowed Tin Horn Flats' landlord to evict their business. Moiser says once the final decisions are made in these cases, the result could deter the governor from using emergency powers in the future. Haberbush added that he is encouraged by the rulings.
We saw a lot of hostility from judges on those cases early on. We've been seeing that slowly but surely turn around. But what's really encouraging to see is that on the business side of things, that's also going on. Because nobody was hit harder by the restrictions imposed in this pandemic than small business owners.
The pending lawsuits are set to begin discovery within the coming months. Daniel Hall, NTD News, California.